What's up, everybody? I know this is obviously a different setup than what you're used to. It's usually just me talking about stuff that I don't know about at all. But I decided to... oh, well, thank you. I can't say that. He can say that. But anyways, I decided to bring my crew along. You guys might know them from our Oscars live stream. Got my cousin Eric here. Got my good friend Perry in the back. He's wearing a kick-ass drive jacket. Can't really see it right now, but it's awesome. And so the film today that we all decided to go see was Gasper Noes' Climax.
It was
Written and directed by Gasper Noes. And usually I would say, oh, this is this is actually a fucking A24 film.
Mm-hmm.
But since Gasper Noes kind of has so much notoriety already, it's kind of hard to say this is an A24 film, especially since I think it got screened at a festival and then A24 just picked it up. So that was a film we went to go see. And before we get into it, I'm just gonna say the format of this is gonna be, we'll just talk about it for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes with no spoilers, so you don't got to worry about spoilers. And then we'll also we'll kind of go ahead and give our quick grade on it, and then afterwards we're gonna just get right into the spoilers. So that's the setup.
To spoil.
Yeah, and trust me, there's a lot to get into with this film. But anyways, just to get right into it, I think we can all agree that we thought it was fucking fantastic, right?
Yes,
I definitely,
absolutely.
right? Definitely
did not disappoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us expected to really like it, but I'm surprised that I really loved it this much.
This movie played out pretty differently from what I was expecting. I've seen all of Gasper Noes' movies, and it took me for a wild ride that I didn't know I was ready for.
Yeah, so, I'm actually kind of embarrassed because I've only seen...
don't be embarrassed.
I've only seen one of his films, and Eric's actually went through all the time and dedication this week to watch all of his films.
All of the movies.
So he's seen all of them. I think Perry, how many have you seen?
I've seen all of them except Love.
All of them except Love.
I actually saw Love earlier today. It was interesting, but that's not the movie we're talking about.
So, I guess the first thing that I'll say just right off the bat was that it's no surprise to anybody who loves Gasper Noé, but this was an incredibly impressive piece of filmmaking, like from every standpoint. When it comes,
for sure.
Yeah, like the cinematography is off the charts, sound editing, sound design, all of that is just like insanely well done. The acting is really good. Everybody in this film feels absolutely believable in their character. Even the writing of the dialogue, I really enjoyed it. It felt very real, very visceral, very human, even though it's not necessarily the good part of humans that we like to see.
No.
Yeah.
It's definitely the more kind of grindy and the more kind of disgusting part of humanity that this film kind of conveys. But yeah, that's the first thing I'll say is just that technically, just from a technical standpoint, this film is like just like a nightmare acid trip gone awry.
That's a perfect way to describe this movie.
God, like, especially like in the third act, it does a lot of really kind of nauseating things with the camera for a long time.
As you would expect from a Gasper Noé movie.
Yeah.
But it uses it to really great effect, not just for no reason or anything.
Absolutely. Like, I think every use of the camera in this film was absolutely purposeful, incredibly immersive, even though, like I said, it sometimes, especially in the third act, it kind of can be a little nausea-inducing, but it just feels right. Like, it feels purposeful. And this whole film, you feel like you're fucking on drugs. Like this entire, even in the beginning when you're not really, like before the stuff starts really going down.
Before the film really starts picking up.
Yeah, you still kind of feel that feeling that you're in a kind of like a surreal world.
Yeah, this movie is incredibly just high energy, high octane from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like, you can easily say that. I don't think anybody would really disagree with that.
Yeah, so, I guess, to get into more, like, non-spoiler stuff, I guess I'll just say that, comparing it to the previous film, to the previous Gasper Noé film that I seen, The Void, not The Void,
Enter the Void.
Enter the Void.
Enter the Void.
I think this is much better. I mean, not taking away from that film. I do like that film. There's a lot to appreciate in that film. But this film just kept me in it from start to finish. There was not a single moment in this film that I felt bored or felt like it was dragging. This is just a freaking insanely engaging, hypnotic, drug-induced, just visual experience that I'm definitely never going to forget, and I'm so happy that we were able to finally catch it in theaters, because Climax went everywhere except for America, basically, for such a long time. Like, the UK already has it on Blu-ray, and a lot of other places it's already been released. So, like, I had to wait so long. We all had to wait so long to finally watch it, and I'm just so happy that I was able to watch it in theaters, because it's a film that the theater experience is just unmatched. Like, you can't, unless you have a giant screen at your house and like a surround sound, then you can match it. But for most people, you can't match it. It's an insane theater experience. So anybody who's planning to see it and it's like in your local theater or some shit, like, go watch it, because you're not going to regret it.
Yeah, it was a very surreal experience, honestly. All of his movies are really surreal, but this one was its own unique brand of just craziness in a very great way.
I agree. So Perry, you're kind of quiet back there, man. You got anything you want to add, dude? I mean,
I will say that the structure of this film, like you said, there was no parts that dragged. Because if I had to say that this film was divided up in 3 parts, which it was the dancing, the choreography aspect of it, the conversations that kind of like, develop the characters and made you get a feel of like who these people were.
I love the way that was approached, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
I thought it was awesome.
It was very unique and interesting.
And I didn't expect that those scenes to be so hilarious, but I actually found some of them quite hysterical.
Yeah. And it's so funny too, because it's not like it's funny because it's written like in a comedy skit format. It's just funny because it gives you the glimpse of how people talk. Like, people, I've met people that talk like that.
It's very authentic.
Yeah.
In this movie, I actually didn't know this movie was spoken in French. I have no problem with that. I don't think that's a spoiler.
No.
So, yeah, I actually expected this movie to be in English because his most recent movies have been in English. Yeah. But the dialogue just comes off just very smooth, very authentic.
Yeah, I'm with Eric on that, because when the movie opened and it was like, oh, this movie's going to be subtitled, I was like, I completely forgot about this aspect of the film, because no one really mentioned it, because it just comes like such a secondary, or not even secondary, more like a tertiary thing that doesn't even really seem important, because this film was such a visual experience that you didn't give a shit about the subtitles or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if anybody has a problem with the subtitles, like just being in French by nature.
Yeah.
If you don't watch a lot of foreign films, I guess.
Right.
Were you gonna say something, Perry?
I feel like this film dealt with a lot more themes than I thought it would, because a lot of people see the trailer and they think, oh, it's just a crazy dance flick with the acid trip to the hell. It's at the very end. It's like, no, there's actually a lot of thematic elements about this film.
I agree, and that's one thing that I really loved about this film, because I felt like, not only, because one criticism I can see, like, maybe casual moviegoers, even some critics, they'll say, oh, this film doesn't have much of a plot to it, like, it's just kind of things happening. But
I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah, this film, I actually think
it's done well,
that works in this film's advantage, honestly, because like, if everything feels,
it's a very
so
self-contained
real.
movie.
Yeah, it's self-contained, and it's literally, there's no stopping. Like, literally, you're just in this one long sequence.
It's like a roller coaster that's just like revving up, and just completely goes down.
Yeah, and
like in a good way, like just down as like a very, crazy ass roller coaster experience.
No, I definitely agree. Like, one thing that I just really felt watching it was like, this feels like a fucking roller coaster ride. And I know that like kind of sounds cliche or whatever, but there's not other many ways to describe the way this film makes you feel besides that. And also besides the fact that it's just insanely drug inducing, but yeah, one thing that
anxiety inducing,
especially the third act. Oh my god! Basically, for the second half of this film, it's nonstop anxiety, like nonstop. Perry actually had to get up like the last 2 minutes of the film because he caught an insane cramp in his leg.
Oh yeah, my body was so tensed up, but luckily I stood in the back of the auditorium, so I watched the entire film. Did not leave the auditorium.
Yeah, I'm so glad, because when he got up and left, I was like, oh shit, he's missing the actual ending. That's actually pretty revealing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, one thing that makes this film so insanely like really anxiety inducing and really realistic is that all of it is done like in real time. So like it starts at the beginning, and then it's all taking place in real time. Like, and I guess when I say that, like, there's no like skipping like in forward in time or back in time. It's just one long real life sequence.
Yeah, I love that about the movie.
Yeah, and it makes it more anxiety inducing, because when shit starts to go down, it just slowly and gradually just gets more nightmarish the more that you're watching this film. And I just thought that just, again, like, it just really worked to the film's advantage to have it presented in that way.
Yeah, I agree. I could also the score of the movie was really fucking great too.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started on the score, man. That shit was.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people before going into this movie were talking really highly of the score, so I was just interested to see how it was going to be like, and it worked to its advantage.
I mean, most of the score in this movie, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think most of the score in this movie is natural music in the background. Like, it's not like, I think some of it might be like
it's
artificial,
in their universe.
But yeah, like it's within the film's universe. So like, it's not like you're hearing like this artificial score come in, but the score that's in this movie is accompanied just with what's happening naturally in the movie.
Yeah.
And that, again, like, this film just feels so incredibly realistic the entire time. And again, that's just, I think that's what makes the film so great, is that it all feels incredibly real on top of it being surreal at the same time.
It's very surreal because of the camera work and the lighting, but it's not, it's natural lighting in the universe. Like, they legitimately have like bright neon like reds and stuff like that. But for any other like context, it would be like out of place and just completely like artificial.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it's natural.
It's all natural.
Nightmarish.
It's still natural and real, and God, it's just that's a hard feat to achieve, man. Like, Gasper Noes knows how to direct. He knows how to
use lighting.
He knows how to do everything, man.
His direction's fantastic, honestly.
His directions are just like out of this world, man. Like,
I agree.
And this guy's so incredibly talented, and people are gonna call him, oh, he's just a self-indulgent douchebag. He's incredibly pretentious. I don't care. Like, keep making films like this, and I'll watch them. I don't care if you're pretentious or self-indulgent. Keep doing what you're doing, because I really love this film a lot.
I agree. I think it's also his most accessible film, because I've seen them all, and they all have like caveats to them. Like, Love has a lot of like really long sex scenes. I Stand Alone, like, very nihilistic. Enter the Void is just fucking bizarre with its visuals and breakneck weirdness.
Yeah.
And Irreversible is like known for its obvious brutality and the graphic manner that it uses. But this one, like, I don't feel like it uses like such graphic content to like grab you. There is some graphic content, but it's all like just very like reserved, but still crazy.
Yeah, a lot of it's implied.
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some that is just implied.
A lot of it is like just sound design and just, we haven't even touched about that. It's just
I think I said a few things about the sound design, but but we haven't talked enough about it, because the sound design, again, like, there was a lot of really frightening moments in this film it was only more frightening because of the sound design. And everything about, again, we go back to the realism of this movie. Everything about this movie, the lighting, the sound design, the cinematography, the acting, the writing, everything about this film just feels incredibly real, but also just like out of this world at the same time. Like, and I think I made that point like before, but it's just a point that I have to bring home, because that was one of the biggest things that I personally took away from this film. And also added what Perry said earlier about like how this film was actually more like thematic than what at least what he expected, and also what I expected, because I was surprised to see that there was a lot of different. First of all, there's a shitload of characters in this movie.
Oh, lot of
they're all
fleshed
You're not
out.
going to keep up with all their names. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
There's only like maybe 4 or 5 people that you'll definitely know by name, and you'll be like, oh, that's that person, that's that person.
But you still remember them all, and you know what their traits are, because the film established it so well.
And I'm sorry, we're gonna say, Perry?
I said they really developed the characters not just through the interviews, but just the way they dance. The way they dance said a lot about their personality trait.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and like, that was kind of something that I was about to touch on, was that even though there's a shitload of characters in this movie, they all have some sort of like substance to them in some way, and they all have some sort of arc to them as well. Like, even by the end of the movie, things build up with their characters as they're more established in the first and second act, and then what happens to them and concludes with their characters in the story is just like, it's really satisfying, because you can tell that there was a lot of effort put into the character writing, by the end of the film, and it's not just a whole bunch of nonsense happening. Like, there actually is a lot of, fleshed out character moments that definitely, happened during the end, and that was just really awesome to see.
Yeah, it was really satisfying, honestly.
So
I guess that's it for spoiler free.
Yeah, because we're at 15 minutes, so I think we actually talked a lot about that. So if you want me to go ahead and give a quick grade, that way people who are here for non-spoilers can go ahead and they can get the grade, and if they want to leave, they can leave if they want. I don't care.
Right.
But I mean, to be honest with you, like, you know, when this film was like winding down in the third act, I was like, there's not really a fucking single thing about this film that I dislike. Like, and I'm trying to think of something that I genuinely like just thought was flawed, or thought it could have been done better, or just overall didn't like. And I realized, like, if I'm trying too hard to think about something I didn't like, there's probably nothing there. Like, I'm just reaching.
Right.
So I don't know, guys. Like, I don't want to, like, overhype it too much, but if I can't find anything wrong with it,
Right.
I can't dock any points off of it.
Mhm.
And, you know, maybe I'll think about it more later, because we just got out of the theater now, by the way. This is basically just a reactionary raw review.
This is really fresh out of it.
So, right now, though, like, I have absolutely nothing wrong with this film, so I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm just gonna give it a perfect score, 10 out of 10 for Climax.
Hell yeah. Fucking hell yeah.
I don't know, like, there's just nothing about it that I dislike, so I have to give it that 10 out of 10, so there's my grade. Anybody else want to give their grade real quick?
Perry, I think you can go.
No, you go first.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, I honestly, there's nothing about the film that particularly bothers me. I actually think that with subsequent watchings, I'll actually enjoy it more.
Yeah.
I think even though I know where the roller coaster is going and the twists and turns, I still think that just enjoying it will amplify more.
And there's also, like, details that you'll probably find in the second or third watch that maybe you didn't catch, because there's so much shit going on in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. There's just a lot happening, honestly. This is such a bottle-contained film, but it has a lot going on. But I'll wrap it up. I can't decide if I like this more than Irreversible. I'll have to watch both the second time.
I still have to watch Irreversible. I don't know.
But as far as grading goes, I will give it a 9.
Ooh.
A 9. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought Eric was gonna come out of this giving it a perfect grade, but instead, look at me. I'm the one gushing over this film.
Well, I think we have a different rating system, because like, even though I think the film like doesn't really have any flaws with me,
yeah,
I think that, you know, maybe a movie has to like go like very leaps and bounds, but I could give it a 10. Honestly, I'm just reserving it to a 9 at the moment.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think that's a. See, like, you're probably doing the smart thing, because,
no,
like,
I like your rating. I don't see any problem with it at all.
I fucking love this movie. Anyway, go ahead, Perry.
Well, like y'all said, I'm gonna go really high with this one too, because I think it takes all the elements of his previous film. All the best elements are put right in this film. I'm gonna go 9.3 out of 10.
Ooh, nice.
Pretty high. So we're all give this A's. I give it a perfect score, because if I were to direct this movie, I would be so fucking proud of myself, like, insanely proud of myself.
Like I said, the camera work is just fantastic overall.
Yeah.
That was one of the most impressive parts about it for me.
If I were to make this film, like, I don't know, I would just be so insanely happy that I was able to craft something of this to this magnitude. So it's a 10 out of 10 for me. So, okay, we all gave our grades.
Mm-hmm. So
we all give it A or A pluses. So let's get into some spoiler talk. All right, so everybody who don't want to hear no spoilers, go ahead and leave, because we're about to get deep into this film.
Oh, God.
Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start off. What was y'all's, like, I guess it's kind of vague and it's hard to choose, but what was the most memorable moment of this film for you guys?
That's a oof.
Like, what, like, just like right now in your head, what's that?
I think I got one.
Okay.
I think it had to be the pregnant woman where they were carrying her to abort herself.
Oh my God!
And
yeah.
that girl, and I can't remember her name, kicked her in the stomach repeatedly.
Oh my God!
Oh my fucking God!
That image is not gonna leave my mind ever.
Oh, I have a good one, but it's gonna require a long explanation.
Okay,
Kinda.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there is a scene where Sophia first, like, really just lets herself, like, go in terms of, like, the anxiety she's holding up. And she's, like, screaming and just waving her body all around. That is a blatant reference to the movie Possession, the 1981 film.
Whoa, really?
I promise you, if you watch the film Possession, there's a scene in there that's super famous, and it takes a lot of inspiration from a certain segment. It's, like, one of the craziest segments in a movie I've ever seen.
Damn.
But they still use it to great, amazing avail to climax context. But yeah, it's a huge reference. But it doesn't take away from the movie at all. It kind of just adds, in my opinion.
Yeah, that I didn't know that. You see, I have to watch Possession. Eric's actually more
I gush about it
cultured
all the time.
and more knowledgeable when it comes to the more obscure films.
No, I just have a lot of time and I'm a loser.
Since we're doing spoilers, there was a part where they were all having interviews on a TV. You could see like movies.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah, it
There's
was-
Suspiria, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw
Suspiria,
Suspiria and
Possession.
Possession.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Gasper Noes watched films with Eric.
I think he said in an interview or something that he took a lot of inspiration from that movie, so that's why I kind of had like an expectation planted in my head when I saw it, so it kind of connected real fast.
That's awesome. I mean,
What
okay,
yeah,
so
what about
so
you?
what about me? All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, I guess this might come off like a little obvious, but I just love the way the entire kid was set up and his
Oh, I
my
love that
God.
part.
his entire demise
Yes.
was
Yes.
just like, like I just
Tito,
poor Tito, man, like Jesus,
worst
this-
fucking mother ever.
Yes, I mean, pretty bad mom. Yes, because she explains that, like, I think earlier she's like, oh yeah, well, I got pregnant, but I wanted to turn my failure into something that's more successful.
Mhm.
And that's a little fucked up because you're
Yeah.
just kind of indoctrinating your kid to be something that you were, what you were going to do, but then now you're just projecting your wishes onto the kid. And it just seems really immoral to do that in the first place.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you know, I can grant her when shit starts going down, she was genuinely, I think, trying to protect the kid because
Yeah, it
she
felt
knew
like it.
she knew that the space that he was in was not secure, and if they wanted to get to him, he would be in there. So he's like, well, let me lock him up in this one room that's the only where I only have the key.
She fucking lost.
and
the
she
damn
lost.
keys.
She loses the key.
God damn.
And what makes that entire scene so terrifying again is pure sound design. Pure sound design.
Yeah, the sound design was excellent for those
Yeah.
sequences or those moments.
Because there's times where you can hear like the child scream, like, and just through off-screen space when there's something else going on that's like totally it's not even in focus of the scene, but you can hear the kid screaming in the background.
Yeah, I love
And-
how. Oh, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'll make
No,
this
I
real
was gonna
quick.
say nothing.
I was just gonna say that I love how characters, like, they're observing a scene, like some crazy shit go down, and then they just leave, and the camera just follows them.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it happens very naturally, like somebody at a crazy setting like that would.
Yeah, that's another thing that is, again, like, that's the direction of the camera in this movie is so masterful. Like, it knows when to stop paying attention to something and then pay attention to something else, and then to follow something and then when to stop that and go on to the next thing. Like, it just felt so seamless. Everything felt really smooth and seamless.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But yeah, that moment to me was just really well directed, really horrifying. And then the mom ends up killing herself because of the guilt.
Pretty brutally, like, implied. She literally is laying on the floor with just slit wrists
Yeah.
with a pool of blood.
Oh
Just
my God.
it's really like disturbing, and when you like just look at it, I guess.
Yeah.
And the kid drank the fucking like sangria
Oh my
that was
God.
laced with
So he was
LSD.
tripping in
He
the
was
room.
tripping.
He was
Oh
tripping
my
hard
God.
inside of that room, and I'm just like thinking to myself, like, oh my God, this poor kid, poor Tito.
There's literally, like, you hear him say, "It's like, oh, there's literally shit moving in here. I'm
There's
fucking
cockroaches.
scared."
Oh my God.
I
There's
heard him
cockroaches,
scream
yeah.
Cockroaches. And the great thing is there really cockroaches in there, or
Yeah,
is that
or
part
is-
of the LSD like trip?
That's why, like, when he first said that, I'm like, oh, maybe there's just cockroaches in there because, like,
No, he's fucking
he's
tripping
in a
hard.
shit room, and then the more he starts describing what he's seeing, I'm, oh no, he's tripping.
He's
dude.
tripping hard.
So, yeah, that for me, that was one of the most, in terms of like sequences in the movie, that was one of the most standouts to me.
But
Like,
the fact that they kept it ambiguous, they kept a lot of things ambiguous because they never show you what the people are seeing.
Yeah.
It's all implied, all through the acting, and
Yeah.
that's what's so amazing about it.
yeah, acting's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, for people that I've never heard of, like,
I was about to mention that. Yeah, for like the only big name actress in here is Sophia,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Everybody else is probably like a dancer / actress.
Right.
And Gasper Noé probably just worked with him along with probably other choreographers, but they crafted such an amazing movie, such a crazy ass movie.
and the third act reveal too in the end is just like,
It makes so much sense.
I know it makes sense now when you
sense.
think about all of it. You're just like,
Because
yeah, it
that
makes
chick,
sense.
that chick was literally always off, and she was like the only one holding her shit together because
Yep.
she's just naturally probably fucking weird like
Yep.
that. And they referenced that too. There was like talking about a girl who puts like LSD in her eyelids.
in her eyes, yeah, she said that. And,
Foreshadowing.
yeah, and it does that, and then, like, by the end when it's revealed to you again, like, it just it doesn't seem unbelievable because it just all starts
Yeah.
making sense. You're just like, wow, like, yeah, great reveal. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's almost like a mystery too. It's like who fucking punched the.
And they made it seem like it was the guy, the David guy. They made it seem like it was him the whole entire time.
Yeah, I totally agree. He definitely, and again, like, I like that because the film kind of tries to like trick you and making you guess who it was. Because at first, I was like, oh, it was the person who made the fruit. But it was the person who made the
that's what
alcohol.
everybody thought.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like, the way she starts reacting to it, you're like, well, maybe she didn't do it. Maybe it was somebody else. And then you
I
realize,
didn't even believe her at first when she said she didn't do it.
yeah. I was like, no, she's full of shit.
Yeah,
I
she's full of
immediately
shit.
thought it was David. I thought it. 'Cause
Really?
That guy was such a piece of
That guy was such a piece of shit horn dog, dude.
Oh my
Oh, he was
God.
terrible.
I'm so.
Yeah, as
I'm
a
honestly, it was
person.
kind of satisfying to see him suffer there.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact that nobody wanted to have sex with him, nobody wanted shit to do with him, and he was just had to just crawl on the floor like a little like a little weasel piece of shit that he is.
Yeah, he's literally trying to find comfort in anybody.
Anybody.
But he just completely gets shot.
And I love how in the end he becomes desperate and he even tries to go for like the gay dude who was throwing himself at him the whole time. And he's like, no, I don't want shit to do with you. And then finally, once every girl rejects him, he goes for the gay dude. And then the gay dude's like, no, fuck you, I don't want you anymore.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know. It was satisfying to see a piece of garbage like David like have that turmoil there in the end.
I agree.
I mean, even though some of it was a bit excessive, maybe a little bit excessive happening to him there, but
I don't know. I think, well, that's another thing. I really like this movie, like, addressing, like, the mob mentality.
yeah.
How, like, a mob mentality can spiral out so out of control so quick.
Yeah.
Just because there are, like, people who's just encouraging, like, this really crazy shit.
Yeah.
Because they feel they're so righteous and you're just beneath them.
That was another theme in this movie that I think I caught and really enjoyed was the aspect of like social influence.
Yep.
Like what can happen to your mind and your decision making when you're part of a group setting. And that's one thing that I noticed about the third act reveal, and it made sense because she was never part of she was not close to anybody.
No.
Like she refused to be socially close to anybody. And first when I saw that, I was like, well, maybe that's why she's taking this so well, because she's not she's already a person that's very isolated and she doesn't go with group mentalities. So I thought maybe that's why she's able to hold her shit together better. But in the end, you realize it's probably that and the fact that she spiked it herself and she's used to doing a lot of acid on her own.
Yeah, she puts it in her fucking
She puts it in her
eye.
eyeballs, so...
And the fact that she spiked it just to see how these people would react, like, it's very classic nihilistic Gasper Noes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's almost like voyeuristic in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure, so...
I love how just to go back, I love how this movie opens up. It opens up with the snow.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah. The film basically opens up with a shot that's straight over her head, and it's just a bunch of white snow everywhere, and it basically just kind of, I don't want to say foreshadows, but gets you prepared to what's going to come later in the film.
It gets you intrigued. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, how did this happen?
It sucks you in right into it, because immediately you're wondering what events in the film is going to lead to this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just a really great setup. It sucks you in immediately, and the camera work on its own is very immersive, and yeah.
And it subverted you because you felt bad for the woman struggling through the snow, screaming, and then you realize she's the one who fucking spiked the sangria at the end.
Is that her?
I think
so.
it was her.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Selva or whatever the hell her name was.
No, that was the main character.
Yeah.
That was Sophia.
Selva was the
Boutella.
main character, yeah.
Or no. I think it was her, the one that spiked the sangria.
The main character?
No,
No.
it was not. It was not. It was that weird chick who had her hair like.
It was a
like
chick
up
that
here.
fucking pissed herself on the dance floor.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, that
right,
was
you're
her.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was her at the end. I'm not sure, but either way, I think.
But you did see somebody at the end like walk out the door and probably just try and escape into like the cold winter.
Maybe it was her then.
There was. I remember in the end there was a scene where she opened up the door leading to the snow.
Oh yeah.
So
That wasn't like the very last shot of the movie, though, right? Because the very last shot of the movie is
no,
her
the
putting
very
LSD
last.
in her
No, I'm
eyes.
pretty sure it's like the one right before it.
So who was that walked out then?
I don't remember. It might have been her.
The
Who
camera
knows?
didn't
No, it wasn't, because
close
she
up
was-
on it, so you couldn't see the person's
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Because some of these women, like some of the dancers, a lot of them had like similar body types.
No, it was probably the main character who was walking out because she didn't die or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it probably was her.
That's probably Selva then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just not the person who
Spiked the
who
LSD,
spiked
yeah.
who spiked the punch. Yeah.
Spiked the punch, yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we talked
I think
extensively.
I think we talked a lot about Climax already, guys. I guess obviously
the hype was real.
The hype was real.
Yeah.
I did not expect to really love this film that much. I mean, I knew I was gonna like it, but I did not expect to fucking give it a 10 out of 10. I didn't think to me this was gonna be like a perfect score film. I really didn't. So this blew my expectations out of the water.
It's a well-deserved one. I think most people are in agreement that this movie is like fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, me giving it a 10 out of 10, like, that's not, just let me be clear, that's not me saying that this is a film for everybody, like, at all.
No.
It's
like,
none of his movies are.
no, but I think, like Eric pointed out earlier, this probably is his most accessible, though.
I think so.
So,
For sure.
you know, if I'm trying to send a message to casuals here, I'd say go for it, but with caution. Like, I'm not sure how much you're
It's a weird
like
movie
it.
for sure.
It starts off, I know for casuals it might start off like the first half, because this movie is basically two halves. The first half is basically the setup with the dance and the characters, you get to know them, and the second half is just nightmare fuel.
It's so entertaining, the character interactions and the choreography.
Oh
of
yeah.
dancing.
Oh yeah. We obviously didn't have any fucking problem with it at all.
Yeah, it was
like, we
really
thought
fun.
it was engaging, really insightful. It really sets up the characters well. But like for a casual, they might find a lot of that boring, just because like a lot of it's like, you know, just the way that it is. You know, they're expecting plot, and they're just getting dance routines and character dialogue. So they're gonna be like, why? I'm half the movie already, nothing's happening yet.
Right.
But if you just stick with it, and I guarantee you'll at least get something out of the second half. You'll whether it's just an experience or whether you just find it thought provoking or entertaining, you'll get something out of it. Like, there's no way you can walk away from this film, even as a casual moviegoer, and be like, meh. Boring movie. There's just no way. There's no way. If you say this movie is boring, like as a whole,
you're boring.
You're a boring person.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. But anyway, I guess that's it. Yeah. I think we've already said a lot about this film. So
it was fun.
If you guys really enjoyed our dynamic, and if this really gets received well, we'll probably do this more often.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
So please let us know if you enjoyed it by giving it a nice big thumbs up. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That way you can get more. That way you can be notified on more content like this. And by the way, it's my cousin Eric again, my good friend Perry. And they're all working. Well, they're actually all helping me make my short film right now.
Oh yes, that's been fun.
So yeah, so it's been tough, but fun, and I really appreciate their help. And so yeah,
it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be awesome. So that's another thing to please stick around for. It might be another month and a half before that comes out, but yeah. So thank you so much for staying. And hearing what we had to say about Gasper Noes' Climax. We had a great time with it. And I definitely recommend everybody to go watch this film.
I definitely recommend it.
Yes.
High recommend.
All right. We all recommend it. We all give A+, basically. So there's that. See you later.
Have a good one. See ya.
Bye-bye.